The reason we're not free is because we do not see the past correctly. We see it with an ego self. We see it with an emotion. We see it with a condemnation. What we're going to do this morning is talk about mistakes that we might be making that we're unaware of. If you want to put it another way, things that we could do for ourselves that we're not doing because we're unaware of them. Maybe we don't know about them. No one's ever told us about them. And the one we're going to start with is a blanket statement, which is this. We do not realize that we do not have to be captured by any negative experience or any negative thought or any negative emotion. Do you understand so far? Please. It sounds so simple, but do you understand it so far? That we do not have to be captured, that is taken over and punished by anything negative that comes to us, whether it comes within our own minds from memory, and it will always come from memory. You cannot be punished by now in any way at all. Or by someone on the exterior who perhaps says something or does something. And you in turn, or I in turn, respond to it, react to it. And because we react on the level, now listen, this may be new to some of you, so you have to listen. Because we react, because we respond to these experiences from the outside or to our own thought, we respond to it with thought. Nothing good, to simplify it, can happen. Because, we've explained before, thought is on the level of this table. It is flat, and it can only go from this corner to that corner. This is why most human beings never escape their difficulties, why they live in worry, why they live in unconscious fears, why they never get out of the trap. We are here to get out of it. Now understand, you cannot get out of it by thinking. If you saw this one thing alone here today, you would go out here new people, new men and new women. But you don't see this yet. I know you don't, and we'll come to that eventually. You don't see the mistake you're making is thinking that thought can rescue you. You don't see the significance of this, do you? Because you have not explored thought long enough to see how it operates. For example, it repeats itself endlessly. Thought is mechanical. It cannot do a thing but say what it said 5 minutes ago or 50 years ago. This is why problems cannot be solved in any way except in these, you want to call them higher truths, that we're going into. This is the only way out. There's no other way. And those who say there's another way never find it. And they die never knowing what they could have had. We don't want that for ourselves. So if thought is purely repetitious, if it cannot rise above itself, if it can't rescue us, then there has to be something else, if rescue is possible, which indeed it is. It makes no difference what has happened to you or me, what shameful things we have done, what terrible self-condemnation we have, or what happened to us in our human relations with our ex-wife, ex-husband, ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend. No matter what we have done, we can be free of it right now. All right. What is this other... Words are so confining. What is this other state? Other state that can free us from thought, and our problem is thought. What is it? What's it all about? What are we going to do? We have to start by seeing what thought itself has done to us, especially seeing that it has not rescued us. This is very simple. You throw everything back on yourself that we have talked about so far and ask yourself, has thinking about this problem, that boss down there who's very unkind, or that husband or wife who gives you such a problem, or that neighbor, you've never solved the problem, have you? Just because the neighbor moved away and that problem went away, that was purely accidental. You didn't change a bit. Now the next neighbor that moves in, you're in the same problem maybe. See, We think a problem is solved because the physical presence of it has gone away in one way or another. If I get rid of this man or this wife, my problem will be solved. They're never solved, and then went on. Because the problem, listen, the problem is in the thought itself. When we begin to see that there is nothing we can do with thought, which is a lot of work, hard work. We're working hard. You have to work hard. When you see this first elementary step, then you can see a second elementary step. There's many more. Why do we insist upon thinking our way out of a problem? First, because we don't know that it's ineffective. It can do nothing for us. Because by accident we get rid of this old problem, whether a human being or situation, and we accidentally get another, and we feel what we call good. Deep inside, we know we haven't changed a thing. All right. If we can see that thinking about it can do absolutely nothing, now we can see the next thing. This is very important, and we've discussed it before. When I see that what I call me, myself, Tom Smith, Mary Jones, consists, this identity that I've given myself, consists of acquired thought, of labels, of words. When I see this, it is both an open door and a terrifying leap into the dark. Some of you are nodding. You understand this, don't you? When I see that I have to drop thought as a solution to my problems, far from simplifying it, it is more difficult, but it is right difficulty. Because instead of running away from the problem, I have faced it boldly. I've said I have to leap right through that dark door. It's an open door now, but I have to leap into it. But I don't know what will happen to me if I do. All right. Now, having seen a little bit that what I call me, what I call Tom Smith or Mary Jones, is made up of labels, thoughts, ideas, which can be very flattering, and usually are. I am a person who just loves my children so much. Oh, yes, you do. I love my wonderful husband. Isn't it strange? Women always have wonderful husbands in public. And they're not wonderful at all, are they? See you all smile when it gets a little close. Or wife, same thing. There's no difference. Men and women are all alike. No one is better or worse than anyone else. When I see that I have put labels on myself, you know why? See this. I call myself who I am in order to keep up the very torturing pretense that has kept me in hell all my life. One step further. I have taken a step into this dark door of seeing that this is all a phony self, a fictitious self. I've tracked it way back from thought. Thought can do nothing. I see how it forms a me. Now it becomes real frightening. And I'm going to fight you every step if you try to tell me this. In fact, I won't even listen to you. The second you tell me about this, I'm scared, and off I go, never to come back again. It's too terrifying. You stick with it. You come back here, for your sake, not mine. It's up to you whether we even have these groups or not. You come back here and be frightened, and you be scared, and you know, you're even permitted to be very hostile if you want. We won't say anything. I will know it because I'm watching your faces, and I'm watching the questions you ask. You can be as hostile as you want if you will look at it and not condemn yourself for it, because you are not condemned by anyone else here. I hope you're not, if the rest of you are awake. You're not being condemned for it. We're understanding it. When I see that all myself is a phony self, and see that this is the basic cause of my misery, I can begin go into another dark door, which consists of this. And this is a very classic teaching, if you want to refer to many things you've probably read in books. I can begin to die daily. I can begin to let go. I can begin to abandon, as frightening as it is. And I'm telling you this over and over so that when it happens, you will say, well, the man said it'd be frightening, so that's a little bit of help. See, I'm going to let go of who I have called myself, of the labels. Having seen that I'm made up of words and labels which have given me nothing but heartache and sorrow and bitterness and hostility and anger and fear of death. Having seen that I have been living with a phony, fictitious self that smiles when it doesn't want to smile, that has these intense hostilities toward everyone who questions my precious values and all that, then I can begin to give up one little one small one at a time. And I do this in daily experience. Maybe after this meeting, for example, when you're sitting around here saying goodbye, you might catch something in yourself that you could observe first, and then simply, it's so simple, you simply drop a negative reaction because you know that it is ruining you, and that is all there is to it.